Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaudavani Pracharane Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Trinadapi Sunichena Turar Iva Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Hare Hare Nama Hare Nama Hare Nama Vikivalam Kalo Nastyeva 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 Gatiranyata Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, if there's any problems or any comments or any questions, please put them in the chat box and I'll address it once I see them. We're going to do 3 things today, today's program. Number 1, we're going to hear from Prabhupada in his Krishna book, The Pastime of Damodar. Then I'm going to sing the Damodara-lila prayers, which we chant twice daily. And I'm also going to read to you my own translation of the Damodara-lila prayer. And then for my friends there in Pune, Roshanji and his good wife, special request, I'm going to sing Sahayata Karo. And that's how we'll end the program. And then after that, I will give blessings to everyone personally, provided their screen is on. If you show me a blank screen, no blessings. So let's start off now. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this pastime of Damodar took place when Krishna was living in Gokul before moving to Vrindavan. And Krishna's age is less than 5 years. He's in that age group, less than 5 years. Here it is. Once upon a time, seeing that her maidservant was engaged in different household duties, Mother Yashoda personally took charge of churning butter. And while she churned butter, she sang the childhood pastimes of Krishna and enjoyed thinking of her son. The end of her sari was tightly wrapped while she churned, and on account of her intense love for her son, milk automatically dripped from her breast, which moved as she labored very hard, churning with 2 hands. The bangles and bracelets on her hands tinkled as they touched each other, and her earrings and breasts shook. And there were drops of perspiration on her face, and the flower garland which was on her head, scattered here and there. Before this picturesque sight, Lord Krishna appeared as a child. He was feeling hungry, and out of love for his mother, he wanted her to stop churning, and he indicated that her first business was to let him suck her breast and churn butter later. Mother Yashoda took her son on her lap and pushed the nipples of her breasts into his mouth. And while Krishna was sucking the milk, she was smiling. She was enjoying the beauty of her child's face. Suddenly the milk which was on the oven began to boil over. So just to stop the milk from spilling, Mother Yashoda at once put Krishna aside and went to the oven. Left in that state by his mother, Krishna became very angry, and his lips and eyes became red in rage. He pressed his teeth and lips, and taking up a piece of stone, Krishna immediately broke the butter pot. He then took butter out of it, and with false tears in his eyes, began to eat the butter in a secluded place. Meanwhile, Mother Yashoda returned to the churning place after setting the overflowing milk pan in order. And she saw the broken pot in which the churning yogurt was kept. Since she could not find her boy, she concluded that the broken pot was his mischief. So she began to smile as she thought, this child is very clever. After taking the pot, he has left this place, fearing punishment. After Yashoda sought all over, she found a big wooden grinding mortar, which was kept upside down, and she found her son sitting upon it. Krishna was taking butter, which was hanging from the ceiling on a swing, and he was feeding it to the monkeys. She saw Krishna looking this way and that way out of fear, because Krishna was conscious of his naughty behavior. After seeing Krishna so engaged, Yashoda very silently approached him from behind. Krishna, however, quickly saw her coming at him with a stick in her hand, and immediately Krishna jumped down from the grinding mortar and began to flee out of fear. Mother Yashoda chased Krishna to all corners, trying to capture the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is never approached even by the meditations of the great yogis. In other words, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is never caught by the yogis and speculators, was playing just like a little child for a great devotee like Mother Yashoda. However, Mother Yashoda could not easily catch the fast-running child because of her thin waist and heavy body. Still, she tried to follow him as fast as possible. Her hair loosened, and the flower in her hair fell to the ground. Although she was tired, she somehow or other reached her naughty child and captured him. And when he was caught, Krishna was almost on the verge of crying. He smeared his hands over his eyes, which were anointed with black eye cosmetics. The child saw his mother's face while she stood over him, and his eyes became restless with fear. Mother Yashoda could understand that Krishna was unnecessarily afraid, and for his benefit, she wanted to allay his fears. Being the topmost well-wisher of her child, Mother Yashoda began to think, if my child is too fearful of me, I do not know what will happen to him. Mother Yashoda then threw away her stick, but in order to punishment, she thought to bind his hands with some ropes. However, she did not know it, but it was actually impossible for her to bind the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mother Yashoda was simply thinking that Krishna was her tiny child. She did not know that her child actually had no limitation, because one of his names is Ananta. He is unlimited and all-pervading. There is no inside or outside of Krishna, nor is there any beginning or end. Indeed, he is himself the whole cosmic manifestation. Still, Mother Yashoda was thinking of Krishna as her child. Although Krishna is beyond the reach of all senses, adhokshaja, Mother Yashoda endeavored to bind Krishna up to a wooden grinding mortar. But when she tried to bind him, she found that the rope she was using was too short, by 2 inches, 2 fingers. She gathered more ropes from the house and added to those 2 ropes. And at the end, she found the same shortage. In this way, she connected all the ropes available at home. But when the final knot was added, Yashoda saw it was still 2 fingers, 2 inches too short. Mother Yashoda was smiling, but she was astonished. How was all this happening? In attempting to bind her son, she became tired. She was perspiring, and the garland on her head fell down. Then Lord Krishna appreciated the hard labor of his mother, and being compassionate upon her, Krishna agreed to be bound up by the ropes. Krishna, playing as a human child in the house of Mother Yashoda, was performing his own selected pastimes. Of course, no one can control the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The pure devotee surrenders him or herself unto the lotus feet of the Lord, who might either protect or vanquish the devotee. But for one's part, the devotee never forgets one's own position of surrender. And similarly, the Lord also feels transcendental pleasure by submitting himself to the protection of the devotee. And this was exemplified by Krishna's surrender unto his mother, Yashoda. Krishna is the supreme bestower of all kinds of liberations to his devotees. But the benediction which was bestowed upon Mother Yashoda was never experienced even by Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, or the goddess of fortune, who was always the better half of Lord Narayan. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who was known as the son of Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, is never so completely known to the yogis and speculators. But Krishna is easily available to his devotees. Neither is Krishna appreciated as the supreme reservoir of all pleasure by the yogis and speculators. Now comes the next part, the next scene. After binding her son, Mother Yashoda engaged herself in household affairs. At that time, bound up to the wooden grinding mortar, Krishna could see a pair of trees before him, which were known as Arjuna trees. The great reservoir of pleasure, Lord Sri Krishna thus thought to himself, Mother Yashoda first of all left without feeding me sufficient milk, and therefore I broke the pot of yogurt and distributed the stock of butter in charity to the monkeys. Now my mother has bound me up to a wooden mortar So now I shall do something more mischievous than before. There is a history behind the pair of Arjuna trees, for in their previous lives, the trees were born as the human sons of Kubera, and their names were Nalakuvara and Manigriva. Fortunately, they came within the vision of the Lord. In their previous lives, they were cursed by the sage Narada in order to receive the highest benediction of seeing Lord Krishna. This benediction curse was bestowed upon them because of their forgetfulness due to intoxication. And this story is narrated in the next chapter. But we're not going to read that story because we don't want the program to be too long. I have learned less is more. So that is how Prabhupada describes the Damodara-lila in his Krishna book. And now we will sing the Damodara-ashtakam prayers. And in these Damodara-ashtakam prayers, we go deeper into this lila. So first we'll sing. And this is dedicated to everyone who has their screen on. If you don't have your screen on, and I don't see your live face, I can't dedicate it to you. Oh, very good. Very good. Thank you. Namami Shradang Sachid Ananda Rupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashoda Biolukalat Davamanam Padam Rishtam Adyantato Drutya Gopya Rudantang Muhur Netra Yugmam Rijantang Param Bhoja Yugmena Satanka Netram Muhushvasakampa Trirekanka Kanta Stita Grivam Damodarang Bhakti Badham Bhakti Badham Bhakti Badham Iti Dwikswalilabhir Ananda Kunde Swagoshang Imajantam Akyapayantam Tadiyeshi Jagishu Bhaktair Jitatvang Punak Prematastang Shatavritti Vande Varang Deva Moksham Na Mokshavadhingva Na Chanyang Vrinehang Vareshadabhiha Idang Deva Purnata Gopala Balang Sadame Manas Yavirastam Kimanyay Idang Te Mukam Bhojam Atyanta Nilaya Ritang Kuntalai Snigdha Raktaishcha Gopya Muhushchumbitam Bimba Raktadharang Me Manasya Virastam Alam Laksha Labhai Namo Deva Damodar Ananta Vishnu Rasida Prabhu Duka Jalabdi Magnam Kripa Drishti Vrishtyati Dinang Batanu Priyanesha Mamagyam Edyakshi Drishyaha Kuveratma Jau Badha Murtyaiva Yadvat Tvayamochitao Bhakti Ajau Kritao Cha Tata Prema Bhakting Swakang Me Prayachcha Namokshe grahomesti Damodara-lila. Namaste stu damne Spuradipti damne Tvadiyodarayata Vishvasya damne. Namo radhikaya Tvadiya priyaya Namo Nanda-lilaya Devaya tubhyam. Namami Shradam Satchit Ananda Rupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam. Yashoda Biolukalan Davamanam Paramrishtam Atyantato Drutya Gopya. Namo radhikaya Tvadiya priyaya Namo Nanda-lilaya Devaya tubhyam. Jaya Radha Damodar Radha Damodar Radhe. 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 So now, the meaning of this song is very, very significant. But before I continue, I announced at the beginning of the program that my internet is been misbehaving all day. I had to reboot my computer 6 times. So far it's behaved, I assume. So just in case something happens, I'm going to give my blessings now. So those of you all have your screens on. You can also unmute yourselves. You can all unmute. All right, so we have Saket, Raju, Rajani, and Saket. May Krishna bless you and protect you.
Please bless my elder one also.
And may Krishna bless you more and more. Naresh Budrani, may Krishna bless you and your family, Naresh. My son, Laveen Lakshman Magnani with Tilak. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol Divya. Oh, the the twins are there. Roshan and Rakesh. Very nice to see you. Very good. Of course, we have Srinam Radha. And we have Ranjit and Riya. And let me see if I remember the younger one's name. Ayush, right?
Yes.
Okay. You look like you gained some weight. Looks like you're not skinny anymore. You must be eating good. That's a good sign. There is Mayani family. Very good. Together, I see you. Very nice. What is that in your hands? What is that in your hands? What is that? What's in your... Wow. That's glorious. Haribol. May they always be in your hand. Saki Stali, good to see you there in Pune. And look what I have. What does that tell you? What does that tell you?
I'm waiting for my song.
Yes, I didn't forget. This is a new guitar I got this year. And so
Looks sweet.
And look at that, Simran. Haribol.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Where is your other half? Where is he? Huh? Where is he?
He's out of town. He'll be here soon.
Oh, he's out of town. All right. That's a very nice couch. I like that. It reminds me of Lord Narayan, the color. Very nice. And there's
It's so nice to see you.
Hare, okay, and Ankit, Haribol Ankit. And there is the devotee scientist Komal. Haribol Komal.
Haribol, Prabhuji. Haribol.
And who was the first online today? Arman. Very good, Arman. So everybody, fold your hands and I will give you special blessings. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I don't know if you know, but today for me is my Ram Vijay. Because yesterday, Trumpasura was defeated. Haribol! Haribol! 4 years I've been praying and finally, Ram Vijay, Haribol. Okay, I'm now going to mute you because now we're going to do the translation of this Damodara-ashtakam in my own words. I bow down to the Supreme Controller, whose form is composed of eternity, knowledge, and bliss, whose earrings play and swing, who is splendorously manifest in Gokula. But in fear of Mother Yashoda, Krishna gets down from the wooden rice grinding mortar and runs away. However, the Gopi, Sri Yashoda, quickly chasing after him, catches him from the back. Second verse. Crying again and again, his eyes fearful. He's rubbing his eyes with his 2 lotus-like hands again and again, breathing quickly, sighing and trembling, thus causing the pearl necklace and other ornaments to move. Krishna's neck is marked with 3 lines, just like a conch shell. I offer my humble obeisances unto Damodar, who has a rope around his belly, but he is bound only by devotion. And that's why when I sang the song, I repeated, Bhakti Baddham. Krishna could not be bound even if Yashoda had all the rope in the universe. Because the word was used in the Bhagavatam sloka, Ananta. He's unlimited. Can you capture the sky? No. Neither you can tie up Krishna with rope. The Sanskrit word guna can mean the 3 modes of nature. It can mean the word quality, and it can also mean rope. But Krishna is nirguna, meaning no rope can tie him up. Not that he doesn't have any quality, but the modes of nature cannot entangle Krishna. And ordinary ropes, you can add all the ropes you want. Krishna can only be bound by bhakti. That is, practically speaking, one of the most important themes of this Damodara-lila. There are many themes, but this one is very prominent. You can only capture Krishna by your love and devotion. Nothing else attracts Krishna. Number 3, displaying his childhood pastimes, such as Damodara-lila, immersing his own family and the other residents of Gokula in a pool of bliss by these pastimes. Krishna is thus revealing to those desirous of knowing his opulence and majesty, Aishvarya. Damodar makes it known his quality of being conquered only by his loving devotees who are devoid of such Aishvarya Gyan, or knowledge of his majesty. As was mentioned, Mother Yashoda did not know that Krishna was God. She's in a spell of Yoga Maya. No, even in the previous chapter of Krishna book, for the second time, Yashoda looks in Krishna's mouth and she sees the whole cosmic manifestation, and she sees herself and Krishna in Krishna's mouth. So she's bewildered. What is my son God? But then the very next moment, Yoga Maya overcomes her and she thinks, no, this is just my baby. That is illusion. No, he's just that's Yoga Maya. Because if Yashoda thinks that Krishna is God, how can she get a stick? How can she do anything but Om Namo Narayanaya? Mother Yashoda and all the residents of Vrindavan, they worship Narayan as God. Krishna, now he's not God. He's Krishna, our favorite, most lovable object. That is Yoga Maya. As you see the screen behind me, there's Yashoda. She's churning the butter, and there is naughty Krishna. He was very naughty today in this Leela. And he knew he was being nonsense. He knew it. Because, anyway, we'll continue. So again, with love and devotion unto that Lord Damodar, hundreds and hundreds of times I pray, O Lord, I do not ask for the boon of moksha. So there are 5 different kinds of moksha. I do not want impersonal liberation, merging into you. And I do not want the highest liberation, entering the spiritual world by Vaikuntha. I don't want anything from you. I know that you can bestow that. You can give me anything I want. But I don't want anything. This is what I want, the author is saying. May this divine bodily form of yours, so there it is in my screen. May this divine bodily form of yours, as a young cowherder boy here in Vrindavan, that's significant. The cowherder boy is not in Dwaraka, not in Mathura. No, where is he? Gokula Vrindavan. That's where you find Bala Gopal. Let that be always manifest in my heart. What is the use of other things? So, we learn in the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam. You should take exclusive shelter of me. This is what it means to have exclusive shelter of Krishna. This Satyavrata Muni, the author of this song, all he wants, he doesn't even care about liberation going to Vaikuntha. All he wants always in his heart, this picture of Damodar. The prayer continues. Your lotus-like face, surrounded by curling locks of hair. So Krishna's hair is curly, which is very dark blue. It's soft and glossy. Therefore, Krishna's name, Keshava. One of the meanings of Keshava is this: soft and glossy hair, very fine. Not coarse, very fine. But it has a reddish tint to it. This is what I love about Krishna consciousness. In other religions, you name any other religion, they don't have such detailed information about God. They don't have it. This was a main reason why I continue to stay with this Krishna consciousness. They don't have this detailed knowledge. Sorry. I'm not condemning anyone's religion. But nobody has this detailed information. They don't have it. That's why we study Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Brahma Sanghita. This is confidential. Shh. It's only for our Zoom group, not for the nonsense. It's for shh. Confidential. Your lotus-like face is kissed again and again by the Gopi Sri Yashoda. At the end of the chapter, Shukadeva Goswami said that what Yashoda got, Brahma cannot get, Shiva cannot get, Lakshmi cannot get. Yashoda can. She gets to kiss the chubby cheeks of Damodar. She gets to tie him up. Her lips, Yashoda's lips, are red like the bimba fruit, so she doesn't need lipstick. Natural. So in my heart, may all this be manifest, because there is no need for me to request the attainment of millions of other boons, which to me are simply useless. The example I give, you men, when we were little boys, we played with toy cars and trucks. Are you going to once again play with toy cars and trucks? No, you got the real thing. You got your Jeep. You got your BMW. You're not going to waste your time playing with toy trucks. So when you have Krishna, everything else is like a toy. Like I have said so many times. If you went to Radharani and said, Radha, you give up Krishna, I will give you this, Radharani will curse you. Get out of here. Radharani is not going to give up Krishna for anything. She already has everything because she has Krishna wrapped around her finger. Remember, Krishna is Madana Mohan. He defeated Cupid by his potency. But Radharani is Madana Mohana Mohini. She bewilders Krishna. The power of woman. Bewildering Mohini. Number 6. Be pleased, Deva, O divine Lord. Damodar, whose belly is bound with ropes. Ananta, O limitless Lord. O Vishnu, O all-pervading Lord. O Prabhu, O my Master, I bow down to you. Alas, I myself am immersed in a network of miseries in this material ocean. So please accept me as your servant. Rain down your merciful glance upon this fallen, very fallen and ignorant fool. So this Satyavrata Muni, he strictly follows Lord Chaitanya's third Shikshastakam prayer. Trinadapi sunichena torar iva sahishnuna. One should feel oneself low, 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 low. How low? You like to watch soccer? Picture yourself on the soccer field, right there, and everyone is trampling over you. That's how low you should think. Lower than a straw in the street. That is Lord Chaitanya. Look at how he's describing himself. I am a poor, ignorant fool. O supremely independent Lord, please become perceptible to my eyes. Just like during the Ratha Yatra part, the 2 weeks when Jagannath is out of the temple, the devotees pray, Jagannath Swami Nayan Nayana Patagami Bhavatu Me. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatu Me. Kindly be visible to my eyes. The devotee cannot demand. All the devotee can do is pray. Verse number 7. The two sons of Kuvera, named Nalakuvara and Manigriva, were delivered by Damodara, whose divine form was bound with ropes to the grinding mortar. Since they were cursed by Narada to take birth as twin Arjuna trees, they were liberated by you. Now, in that pastime, when Krishna is tied to the grinding mortar and he looks out into the courtyard, Krishna is thinking, my mother thinks now that she has tied me up and I cannot do any nonsense. I'm going to do more nonsense anyway. So Krishna looked out into the courtyard and saw the big twin Arjuna trees. And Krishna, because he's God, he thought, I know what those two trees are. In those two trees are the sons of Kuvera, Nalakuvara and Manigriva. And Narada wants me to deliver them. Now here's the point. Krishna was thinking, I have nothing to do with those two boys. But because Narada wants me to deliver them, now I'm going to deliver them. And after Krishna delivered them, and they came out and offered their prayers, Krishna told them that because you saw Narada, that was the cause of your deliverance. So Krishna did not even take credit. He said, it's all because of Naradaji. Because there's another term from Krishna, Bhakta Vatsalya. Krishna is the property of his devotees. So if you get a devotee's blessing, a genuine devotee of blessing, that is more powerful than anything. That's why we pray to spiritual master. That's why we pray to advanced devotees. If we get their blessings, for sure we will get Krishna. O Lord Damodar, please give me your own loving devotion, for I have no enthusiasm for any kind of liberation. Final verse. Obeisances unto you, obeisances unto the rope tied around you, obeisances to your splendorous effulgent abode, obeisances unto your splendorous belly, which is the shelter of the entire universe. That's Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. All the planets, Lord Brahma, everything is contained within that lotus flower that grows from Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. Prabhupada one time mentioned, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu told Lakshmi, you take rest. I will give birth to Brahma on my own. No need for you. See how nice Narayan is. Obeisances unto Sri Radha, your beloved soul. Since Satyavrata has mentioned Radhika, this means Satyavrata is very highly situated. Because to know the position of Radha, that makes someone very, very special. Obeisances unto your limitless sportive pastimes, obeisances unto your transcendental nature, obeisances unto you. So while I get my guitar ready, everyone should chant japa. Can you hear the guitar? You don't hear the guitar? No? That's weird. Okay, now you hear. You hear it now? All right. Dedicated to Saki Stali and all the devotees of Santiago. So this is a new version using the tabla. Can you hear the guitar? Well, since I've been in Maya, my heart is never satisfied. She promises the world, but all I ever do is cry. So Krishna, I am on my knees, and I'm begging with you if you please. Sing it. You've got to help me, Krishna. Help me get her out of my heart. You've got to help me, Krishna. Help me get her out of my heart. Sound good? To me, it sounds great. Best version ever. And I believed I was God and the Lord of all that I surveyed. I simply wanted to enjoy, while my orders everyone would obey. But now it seems the joke was on me, and there's nobody to set me free. Sing. You've got to help me, Krishna. Help me get her out of my heart. You've got to help me, Krishna. Help me get her out of my heart. Hindi rock. She's only trying to tempt me to forget that you're inside my heart. She says she'll give me everything, but I know it's only pain she'll bring. I'm completely under her spell, and I'm quickly gliding to hell. You've got to help me, Krishna. Help me get her out of my heart. You've got to help me, Krishna. Help me get her out of my heart. Spanish. Ayúdame, 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 ayúdame. Help me get her out of my heart. I have no taste for chanting. To chore. My belly and my genitals are pushing more and more. So Krishna, I am on my knees, and I'm begging with you, if you please. You got to help me, Krishna. Help me get her out of my heart. You got to help me, Krishna. Help me get her out of my heart. Last time, Hindi. Sahayata karo. Sahayata karo. Sahayata karo. Sahayata karo. Sahayata karo. Sahayata karo. Help me get her out of my heart. 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 Help me. Help me. Help me. Haribo. Okay, you can